Good morning, everyone. Sorry I've been a little bit MIA. As you can probably hear from my voice, I am a little bit under the weather, and that's because I had some fairly major surgery last week. So I'm actually just recovering from that at the moment, which is why I'm in a hoodie and just some pretty minimal makeup and enjoying my time at home. And I'm doing really well, so that is completely fine. I had my mum here from the Gold Coast. She flew down to give me a hand because obviously there's just showering and things that you need a hand with. And of course, Jazz would help me with all of that as much as he possibly could. But sometimes you just want your mum, and it was one of those times where I'm incredibly grateful and thankful that I have her so that she could come and give me a hand. But she just flew home 2 days ago, so it was pretty good timing because I was on some very strong painkillers, and now I've stopped taking those and I'm just on Panadol. And I actually did manage to dress myself today, so I've turned a corner with that, but I'm still not allowed to drive, and it's going to be probably just another week until I'm really feeling back to myself. So I'm also not going to the gym for around about 6 weeks, but I am just doing lots of walking. So I did do a really beautiful walk the other day, and that was when Mum was here. So I took a bunch of clips because I thought, what am I going to show you guys while I'm having this downtime? But I have some beautiful clips from going to the Ripponlea Estate here, which is not too far away, and it is the most beautiful house. It's part of a national trust, and I remember going there multiple times, like during lockdown or walking past, and I could never get in, or it was closed. And I started to get really frustrated because I didn't really understand what the situation was. But one time I did go, and there were some lovely old ladies working there, and they explained the whole kind of process to me and how you could even do a mansion tour. So that's what we did. We walked around the entire gardens, which is so beautiful. It's kind of like a mini botanic gardens. And then I did the mansion tour, which was only $5 per person. And this lovely man took us all the way through this incredible mansion. So I would highly recommend. I actually liked it more than Werribee Mansion, which is another old sort of house that you can do a walk through here in Melbourne. So if you're in the area, definitely recommend adding it to your list, but I'm going to pop the clips in so you guys can have a look. Another little outing I did was to go and get a new pair of glasses. It's been a little while, probably 2 years since I updated my prescription, and happily my eyes haven't changed too much because I know when they put that little chart out there with the letters, it is my mission to be able to read everything, and sometimes the stuff is a little bit blurry, and I hate that because I really want to just like have it in my mind that my eyesight is really good. But obviously I work on a computer, and a lot of us are on screens, and I do a lot of detailed kind of work. So I do need glasses, but not like all the time. It's just for those days when I want to feel really focused, and definitely for driving. But how cute are they? I went with some tortoiseshell ones from Bailey Nelson, and I just thought this was a really nice little upgrade. They kind of have some flecks of pink in them, and I just thought they were a really nice size. They have the really similar pair to these, but they were a slightly different shape, and I took the girls' advice and went with these ones, and I think they look really nice. I love getting new glasses that I'm actually going to wear, because now I know that I will actually wear them for when I'm in meetings and whatever, because I feel like they look really nice on my face shape. And the last little boring kind of activity or update, I guess, since I can't really do much at the moment, was my girlfriends and I are doing a book club, and we started with Intermezzo by Sally Rooney, and I have to say I hated that book. I don't know if anyone has tried to read it or if that is her particular style, because I haven't tried to read a Sally Rooney book before, but the sentence structure and the way that it just was very disjointed and jumps around. Like, it's literally 2-word sentences, 5-word sentences, and it was really annoying me, but I just didn't want to say anything, so I'm like, I'll persevere, whatever. But it got to a point where I was a couple of chapters in, I'm like, I don't even know what's happening, because this is written in such a strange format. So we ended up ditching that book because everyone felt the same, and now we're reading First Lie Wins, and I'm really excited for this one. This is by Ashley Elston, and this has heaps of great reviews, so I'm going to start this one tonight, and I think we're going to catch up in 2 weeks or so for a little bit of a dinner to talk about where we're at in the book. So I need to get started and make sure that I have read enough of that to get through it. But right now I'm going to go for a little small walk to the park up the street. I don't really want to push myself too far at the moment, because I did go a little bit far when we were walking around those Ripponlea gardens, and it just made me feel really tired. So I'm just taking it easy and listening to my body, which is very difficult for me as someone who loves to go to the gym and just smash out a big workout. But it's one of those times when, you know, you're like, I'm very grateful that I've had like a good result from surgery and I'm feeling really good. So I just want to keep momentum going and help my body heal. So that's what I've been doing. So I'm going to go for a little walk and I'll catch up with you guys after. Just got back from my little walk, and I wanted to show you a delivery I got this week, because not only just for times when you can't cook, but also maybe you don't want to cook, or you're really, really busy with things and life is just getting a bit overwhelming. And I actually ended up getting a meal delivery service that I'd ordered from Dynamic, and Dynamic actually has been in my life for a crazy long time. If you actually hear from my interstitial cystitis videos, which is my chronic illness I was diagnosed with in my 20s, I actually struggled really badly with the diet aspect of this, because I was told to have a really clean diet, no preservatives and additives, alkaline kind of food. And at the time, that just meant making everything from scratch. But because I was really struggling with the illness, it was really, really hard to do so. And that's when Dynamic came in, because back then I was living in South Yarra, and they had opened a little flagship store like a couple of doors down from my old apartment. And I remember walking past there one day, and I just went in, I was like, can I eat any of this? And I was like looking at the back of all the packets, and it is beautiful, clean, tasty food. So it was really interesting that it came around full circle all this time later, and I had the opportunity to work with them. So I'm going to share with you a whole bunch of meals that I ordered from Dynamic, because I have already been getting into these. I even gave my mum some, and she was looking to see if they delivered on the Gold Coast, which they do, because she wants to order some of them. And her favorite was the pumpkin gnocchi, which we shared for lunch one day. But there are so many beautiful meals in there, so I'm going to show you through a little bit of what I got. One of the first things you'll notice about these Dynamic meals is they come in cardboard packaging, which is 100% carbon neutral, and they are all so delicious. They seriously actually look like the pictures when they come out at the other end, and they also give you the full macro breakdown on the packet, which is really handy, because Jazz is actually really invested in his macros at the moment. So being able to see at a glance the calories, the carbs, the protein, all of the ingredients, whether it has some vegetables, if it is calorie smart, gluten-free, dairy-free. There are so many things going on in our household, and it's just incredibly helpful when you're making an order or searching through the website to be able to look at all of those different aspects. We're looking for some really great meals to take to work, or just have for those busy evenings when you get home and you just can't be bothered cooking, or maybe you're in a bit of a situation like me and you just need a bit of a break. Definitely check out Dynamic. I'm going to link their website in the description box down below with a couple of my favorite meals to recommend to you if you want to make a little order and get started. Sorry for sitting down for most of this vlog, but honestly, I'm just doing clips and then sitting and resting. I'm mostly laying down on the couch with a couple of ice packs and being pretty horizontal lately. But one more thing I did literally the day before my surgery last Thursday was I went out to one of my building sites, which is now in frame up stage. So yay, it is finally coming along. And if you want to have a little drive, if you live in Melbourne and you want to look at one of my building projects, it is 611 Warrigal Road, and it is so exciting to see that coming up. It used to be Bentley East, but I feel like it now comes up as Oakley South when I put it in on the maps. So I don't know if there was like a little bit of a boundary redo of that particular area, but whatever. It is basically the corner of Warrigal Road and Glover Street, and you can drive by and have a little bit of a look. And one of the reasons I went out there was not only to check on the progress of the project itself. It is a 2 townhouse development, so I'll pop the render here so you can have a look. But basically I wanted to go and do my site hoarding, which is the little sign that you put up with your business details on the front of the site. But that particular builder has just put up like a chain link fence. So I thought it was going to be a really nice, like solid wooden hoarding, which is kind of typical to keep the site like clean and safe and secure. But no, they have just put up chain link fence. So I was like, you know what? I'm not investing in a really expensive sign for this one. I'm just going to print it myself at Officeworks. So I've actually just designed up this one here in Canva, and I think this will just be perfect. I have put on my business details and a couple of other little bits and pieces, and that way I can just leave this out on the front of the building. It only cost me $99 to print, and obviously free to design since I did it myself, because I was going to get like a whole graphic design agency involved and do it. And then I just thought, no way, because if they end up like taking down this hoarding and I'm not there and I lose the sign, at least it was only $100 and I just don't have to stress about it. But yes, if you do go for a little drive by, please let me know in the comments down below, or if that's near your local area, because it's really, really exciting for me, having come through that little evolution of quitting my job, starting the business. And you know, in the construction industry, the projects take such a long time, because from like ideation and concept, or those initial client discussions, it can be kind of like 6 to 12 months before you get through councils and town planning, particularly for a project like this where the site was a house prior. So we had to knock down the house and get demolition permits. And then we are also subdividing the site now that they are selling it as 2 separate townhouses. So there is a whole big process that has to go through with the local council to get all of your approvals, and then the building permit and all of those kind of steps. But it is a real milestone for me in my business, and I will continue to include clips in the vlogs as it comes along, because once the interiors get going as well, that'll be really fun to share. But I've just been working with the client because they are actually Singaporean and they are over in China at the moment, and they were even looking to just get a couple of like the bath and a couple of fittings and things from over there, since they actually do speak Mandarin and they can communicate locally. So that means a really good cost saving for them. So I think they're going to end up importing a couple of items, but that'll be a really interesting process because I never do it that way. I always just pick local from places like ABI or something for all of the tapware. So yes, it'll be a really interesting project, and just so amazing to finally have that finished. Probably, I mean, I think it was originally October. That was the date targeted for it to be finished. So it'll be interesting to see how that time frame goes. But yes, fingers crossed for a beautiful result, and I will keep you posted. Well, that's it from me for now. I'm going to head on down to my office and try and do a couple of hours of work, which is the best bit about having an office kind of job. I only need to really just sit at my desk and kind of do something a little bit low key. So that's the plan. I've also ordered a veggie box from Pino's Produce, which is at the Prahran Market, and that's meant to come between 2 and 5 p.m. today. So if I remember, I will film that so I can show you, because it's their $35 veggie box. They do fruit and veg, but I just did veggies only because I want to use that as a base for all of my recipe ideas for next week. I had a couple of things I want to make. My mum sent me this thing, and it was cottage cheese, which you can get lactose-free cottage cheese. It's the Brandcott's brand at Woolworths, and it's in like a little purple container. Also, Philadelphia cream cheese does lactose-free now, which is really cool because I had that on some crackers last week when I wasn't feeling too good. And yeah, basically you mix in chives, a little bit of cottage cheese and eggs, and kind of scramble it all up in a little silicone container. And that is little egg cups for breakfast. So that's one of the things I want to make, but I also just want to see what comes in this box and what I can kind of have a bit of a think about. And then I also ordered myself some new activewear for when I'm feeling a bit better and I can get back to the gym, because there's nothing better than having like a little fresh outfit to motivate you.